Arsenal had a training session against Leicester City because they couldn't progress to Arsenal's half. They only had one shot on target. In the build-up they used 3 players at the back and set 5 players on Leicester's half. As they didn't play with a central striker, Odegaard, Trossard and Xhaka were important off the ball to occupy the free spaces. In the offensive structure, Zinchenko moved close to Jorginho. They were between the opponent's midfielders and striker. Up front, Saka and Martinelli gave width to the team. Odegaard, Trossard and Xhaka were in the same line of Leicester's midfielders in order to occupy the space between the midfielders or in front the defensive line. Furthermore, it was important Arsenal's pressure because they usually recovered the ball on Leicester's half. Trossard was the man who guided the pressure. As soon as he jumped over Leicester's centre-back, Odegaard will jump over the second centre-back. In order to have an effective pressure, Jorginho moved to Leicester's half, therefore they were pressing with 6 players. Also, Leicester's players were not smart to get right of this pressure because they had one centre-back free and this centre-back could have played with him, but he decided to play with the left fullback. When he received the ball, he didn't have many options because Jorginho and Xhaka were covering Leicester's midfielders, thus he tried to play forward to the free space. Nevertheless, Arsenal was compact because the defensive line jumped over the strikers. On the other hand, when Leicester tried to press high, Arsenal was clever to get right of the pressure. 2 strikers went over the centre-backs and the goalkeeper. As Zinchenko moved to the midfield, Xhaka played as a fullback in the build-up. Also, this helped to create a gap on Leicester's pressure. As a consequence, they received with space. When Leicester's midfielders tried to join the strikers, Martinelli and Trossard had a 2 versus 1 behind them. Also, Zinchenko was smart to occupy the free spaces. On first touch, he got right of one player. As Leicester's midfielder arrived late, he has time and space to play with Jorginho. Therefore, Leicester's pressure block ended up unbalanced because they left the space between the lines, but also on the opposite flank where 3 Arsenal's players are free. Thanks to those movements, Saka usually received with one man over him. Arsenal had 610 passes. They usually started on the right or in the central channels and finished on the left. Jorginho is surrounded by 6 players. Martinelli and Odegaard are able to take advantage of the space between the lines, since Xhaka, Trossard and Saka are attracting to Leicester's defensive line. Also, as Xhaka is open, the opponent's fullback has to be close to him, and this created a gap between him and the centre-back. Jorginho played back with Zinchenko because he had time and space. The opponent's fullback is calling to one midfielder to cover Martinelli. However, Zinchenko played a great through ball and Martinelli received with space near the opponent's box. Arteta's tactics also gave freedom because they could appear in different zones. This time Martinelli is open and Trossard is between the opponent's fullback and centre-back. As they didn't have a central striker, the opponent's defensive line had no reference. Therefore, Xhaka and Odegaard could take advantage of the space between the defenders and midfielders. Zinchenko played to the half space with Trossard and this attracted 4 players and also free Martinelli on the wing. Thanks to that, he had time to receive the ball. Besides, Xhaka and Odegaard were ready to attack the space. When Arsenal lost the ball, the midfielders were important to recover the ball. Arsenal was attacking, but a poor pass to Saka made them to lose the ball. However, Xhaka and Odegaard were faster than Leicester's midfielder and recovered the ball. Thanks to that, they received with space between the lines. Also, Leicester ended up unbalanced because Martinelli was open and this created a space between the fullback and centre-back. Thus, when he received the ball, the opponent's fullback waited for him in order to cover the half space. Yet when Martinelli tried to get into the box, he jumped over him, but this created a 2 versus 1 against the centre-back, since Zinchenko and Odegaard are attacking the space. Martinelli's goal started on Arsenal's pressure. They were pressing with 4 players on the left side and Leicester's fullback tried to connect with the strikers. However, the center backs like Gabriel were aggressive and anticipated the pass. Also, he had the vision to play with Trossard on the left side. As they played a fast offensive transition, Leicester left the space between the midfielders and defenders, and Martinelli started to run to this space. As we can see, he was faster than Leicester's midfielders and detected the space between the center backs, so he kept running there and Trossard played with him in the right time. On the box, Martinelli received with a space because the midfielder and the second center back couldn't catch him, but also the goalkeeper didn't go over him and left the second post for his shot. Leave your thoughts about Arsenal's tactics, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by Mètrica Sports, the fundamental tool for every coach and analyst. Create and manage all your video analysis in one platform. Use coupon NasirSelad at checkout for a 10% discount.